about her works and the time period. Okay, well, we are super excited and thankful to have our wonderful speakers today. And I'm going to start with Debra, and her models are Janelle and Kelsey, who are going by the pseudonyms Emma and Lizzie. So Debra Peck has been sewing since high school and enjoys making everyday and bridal clothing, quilts, and crafts. She's taught sewing to both children and adults. She's created dresses and men's costumes for the Renaissance period, Regency, Civil War, Victorian, and Old West eras. Our other presenter is Yvette Tremblay-Kelly. She started needlework and working at age 4 with her mother and grandmother. She's worked in bridal alterations and as a costumer for the Whitworth Raymond department. She enjoys creating costumes from different periods, including Baroque, Renaissance, Regency, Civil War, Belle Epoque, Edwardian, and modern, sometimes incorporating recycled and unorthodox materials. And her models and helpers are River and Emily. All right. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to start, and I'm going to need 2 volunteers from the audience to try on some gowns and accessories. I see a young lady of marriageable age back there, and Anne, if you would join us also. No? No? You don't want to be in on this? Is there another happy volunteer? The young lady with you? Yes, come on up. Yes. Yeah, this is your thing. And we'll just put on top what you're wearing. It should fit, but it might not close. You're coming with Avery. Nice to meet you, Avery. Let me just put the dress on you. So the dress that Avery will be putting on, you might want to take the dress first, and you could just put it right over your t-shirt. You won't pretend. We'll pretend we didn't see that. Go ahead and do that. We can have a fold it up and accessorize from there. That's fair. Just a fold it up and accessorize. Put your arms straight. There you go. Sleeves were very tight in this era. You weren't expecting any of this, were you? You're going to be beautiful. It'll be great. Go ahead and button that up. So for the first 3 dresses I'm going to show you, sorry about that. First of all, on the internet, on YouTube, they have an actual 30-minute Jane Austen dress. And I tried to recreate that as best I could with River. We took 2 summer skirts. We took one of mine, and I just safety pinned it in the back. And then we took another long, flowy skirt, kind of pulled it up over where her bust line would be if she had one. And then you can see that it was a very typical line in Regency era to have this crossover. And I happened to find a thrift store blouse, much bigger than her, that does kind of cross over. So if you can find yourself a white thrift store blouse, 2 very long peasant-type skirts, we just pulled one higher than the other. I don't know where Emily put safety pins to hold it all together, but it's all in there. And we just tied a ribbon around the waist. So thank you, River. Good job. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Nice work. For Avery's dress, I did the same thing. I took a summer blouse. I cut it off just below bust line, and that's just a bed sheet. And notice that I did not even hem it. I mean, really, I just took the bottom of the bed sheet. And I sewed one seam up the back. The whole thing took me about 15 minutes. I think this is another 30-minute dress based on what I found on Pinterest. But look good. Nice job. Come on forward. That was very clever. So what we have here is another bed sheet dress, and I love bed sheets. Looks good. Look at the hat. Good choice. So this is made out of a bed sheet, and it's got removable sleeves. And so you have a couple choices that you're going to make. Right off the bat, trying to decide on a Regency costume. First of all, how much sewing experience do you have? And you can do literally no sewing experience and do just fine. Or you can incorporate all of your talents or trade talents with somebody else. So what we have here is notice the high waist. And once again, I did not do any hemming on this. I think it's just the original hem that came with the sheet. The other thing that you can do is plan ahead, and you can actually do a double sleeve on, I'm sorry, I am a speech teacher. You can have a little puff sleeve in there and just put some extra ties in there and have a long versus short sleeve look, and that makes your dress more, more flexible for what you want to use it for. So right off the bat, you're going to make a decision: how much time and effort do I want to put into this? How much money do I want to put into this? And then finally, what are my skills? So I have 3 examples: the I have no talent, the I have 30 minutes of my own talents to trade off with somebody else, the I have no money but I have a lot of sewing skill. This one was from a regular pattern, except I didn't have the bottom. But that you can use your sewing talents to make it a more wearable outfit for many occasions. And then finally, here is Emily. This is the gentlewoman's approach to Regency costuming, in which I at least tried to make the visible sewing. If you look at, you can see underneath the ribbon here, that is hand sewn. The inside seams, because I'm not a real patient seamstress. I have other things to do with my time. All of the seams on the inside are sewn by machine, but anything that shows, you can see along here on the neckline, that's all done by hand, which took a while. You're going to see it. She's showing it. It's like the kids, but those are authentic Regency kids. We're going to So we're going to start off accessorizing these ladies.
Can you tell us about the collar?
Yes, I will be talking about that indeed. Yes, I fully intend to do so. Sorry. I did not bring my cards. I have this magic little Scrabble token today. I do apologize. All right, so decide how much accuracy you want, whether or not you want to have an entire section of your closet devoted to Regency-themed costumes, and then how much time and skill you have. So to start off with, I want to show you one more item on this particular dress. If you look at the back of it, you can see these lovely little fabric buttons. Does anyone guess what those are originally? Those are pennies. So you don't have to have any money. Typically, buttons, if you buy them at the fabric store, are 50 cents to $1 a piece. Literally, yeah, we can make this costume with pennies. Sorry. So we're going to start out with a typical Regency morning, what a woman would wear during her Regency day. And a cap would be very, very appropriate for somebody of Miss Avery's age. This one happens to be repurposed from my Rough Horror Picture Show outfit. Didn't talk about that one. So yes, this is my magenta cap. And it was typical for young ladies to wear caps when they had not done their hair. You are going to get your hair mixed up just a little bit today. Is that going to be all right? Okay. So this one just happens to clip in. Not very authentic, but very effective. And you can see that you wouldn't have to do... It's different hair than I'm used to. Beautiful. Yeah, this is like a beret. So you can see that it kind of sits on top of the head, and this type of hat had been around since the 1750s or so. This one, I had originally made it for a 1749 Baroque costume, but then it looked so good with the Jane Austen stuff, I just threw it in, and again, it eventually turned into Rocky Horror. The one that Emily is wearing is handmade. It's just some scrap lace that I had, and women typically, I mean, everything had to be hand-sewn anyway. But you can see that there's a little bit of trim on there, and sometimes that might be the only lace that a woman owned was just that little bit there or a little bit around the neck. Lace was prohibitively expensive because it was imported. There wasn't very much English lace, and we'll see an example of that English lace in a little while. And then, Anne, would you please tell us about your cap?
I made this issue cap trying to model after a cross between Jane Austen's cap and the famous portrait, and another picture that I found online, which is in a museum somewhere. Basically, it's a fichu cap of white lawn, and I've got the, basically I made it by trial and error. So
you did a beautiful job. It's just the handwork on it is really exquisite. I got a little close look at it. It's just did a beautiful job. Tell me, your little curls in this present. So cute. The other piece that you might see a lady wear around the house in the morning is, for a married woman, she always wore a cap. And obviously, Jane Austen's case, when she got older, she started wearing caps. She actually went to the trouble of telling her sister that I made myself 2 caps. My cap was just made with some pieces of lace while I was sitting in the parking lot think outside the Joann's, waiting for it to open. I had some lace sitting in the back seat, waiting for the Joann's to open in Moscow, and there I put it together in about 10 minutes. You can get by with just very minimal, something from a costume shop, something that you just kind of thrown together. This maybe took 3 or 4 hours. How long did you take on this?
Can we see the back? 3 hours.
About 3 hours.
Back?
The back of Emily's.
Could we see the back of each hat?
Good job.
Well, yours too.
The next piece that you might see is something to cover up the neck. Because houses weren't heated, you kind of wanted a little something. So what we have on Emily here is a ruff. This was one of the 2 times in history that ruffs were attractive or even considered. And so hers is just a ruff of lace that I put on, and I'm going to take this off real quick. And you can see underneath that she also has a chemisette made out of lace, and it kind of fits like a vest underneath her dress. We don't have it tied up so we can do a quick change and take it off, so that's the next thing you're going to try and fish yourself out of that thing. So there you go. That might be the entertaining part of the show. The next item that we have is just a lace scarf.
Collar.
It's just, that's not my most proud work, but it's just a piece of...
But it does the trick. So.
It really does. Another piece is, as I said before, lace was prohibitively expensive. It was often antique or smuggled, and so you might see a young lady just covering up a lower cut dress, and this is not a low cut dress by any stretch of the words, but you can see that you might want to cover that up in the morning when it's a little less appropriate to show any kind of, not that we're showing anything, but there's a t-shirt underneath there, but you get the idea. And in one more, I'm going to go ahead and put this one on in Anne's case. It was not uncommon for the black of your outfit, if you were in mourning, to just be that little piece of lace. And we saw that in the other version of Sensibility, not the one with Emma Thompson, the other one, that you saw that the mom, even years after her husband had died, was still wearing that black piece of lace on her neck, around her neck. And this is English net. This is one of the few kinds of lace that was made in England, as far as I can tell, besides white embroidery lace, like what Emily has around her neck. But you could wear it inside your dress, outside of your dress. And a piece of this, I think, was, what do we spend about spending on that white stuff? About $30 an hour. So realistically, you could take your basic dress that you hadn't really, that would be your main investment, and then put accessories like this that are just a couple dollars, and really it changes the whole look. Something else that you might see, a woman who was in mourning wear would be, she would wear mostly black and white, black at the beginning and then black and white later on. So you could see that this would totally give her a different look to her outfit besides the purple shawl. And this I happened to pick up at one of those shops that has beads and incense and shawls and, wind chimes. That's where I got this particular shawl. It's modern, but it does the trick. Something else that all Regency ladies would have would be a fine handkerchief, and so I have one from LA. I get these in antique shops. They're really not that expensive, and it really does add a lot to, I'll let you hold that one. And then you can even find, they have these at the general store or on Wish sometimes. So even if you see somebody, instead of just pulling out a big old Kleenex, if you have one of those to gently dab your forehead if you're in a hot place in the middle of summer in this interesting Regency costume, it helps. The next thing I'd like to move on to is ways to change up an outfit. And I'm going to show you want me to show my Spencers first and then let you move on? Okay, so the next thing that you might want to look for is the Spencer. The Spencer was originally, it was based on a man by the name of Lord Spencer, yes?
Right.
And
Earl Spencer.
Earl Spencer, thank you. Earl Spencer made the joke, well, women will wear anything nowadays. And he basically cut the tails off his coat, and it really caught on as a fashion for women to wear these. And so the one that I have for Avery one is just a regular old, see, Pendleton right there. It's going to be really big on her. But I just cut it off short. You might have to hold your arm down instead of up. There you go. I cut it off short and added some trim, added a ribbon tie. Again, it's a little bit big on her.
bolero jacket would do that too, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. And you can find short jackets also, but I just wanted an example of what a, thank you, Emily's our clipper today, of what that short jacket would look like. And I have one more that I'm going to let you try on. This is one that was made to match my outfit. But again, just one of those